Good afternoon, everybody. That's actually not so bad, but we can do better. Good afternoon. See, I'm excited that you are here. I was just hoping that you would be excited that you are here as well. So, thank you very much for coming out today, and welcome to the Samaritan Car Care Clinic, which is the region's very first dedicated nonprofit vehicle repair shop. I am Bruce Kintner. And I have the privilege of being the director of the clinic. What the Samaritan Car Care Clinic does is actually pretty straightforward. What we do is we address transportation barriers that low-income families face on their path to self-sufficiency. And we do that sidebar, I was just with friends from Life Learning Center yesterday at a Northern Kentucky University function, and I'm not kidding you, there is a prompter in the front reminding you had 1 minute. If you keep interrupting, I won't get through my 4.5 minutes. Back to the scheduled program. What we do is we address transportation barriers to self-sufficiency, and we do that in a very direct and simple way. One shared cost car repair at a time. We work with a number of referral partners listed up here on the walls. Do please take a look. One of our very early referral partners, Life Learning Center. You're going to hear from Alicia Webb-Edgington here in just a moment. But other referral partners include Brighton Center, Ion Center, Gateway Community College's Ready to Work program, Welcome House, St. Vince de Paul of Northern Kentucky. What those agencies tell us is that access to affordable and reliable transportation is one of the single greatest barriers that their clients face on their path to financial independence. Those agencies can help with housing, childcare, medical care, job training, drug addiction treatment. Where's transportation and all of that? Every one of them had no resources until the financial challenges bubbled up, shall we say, until the Samaritan Car Care Clinic came around. Now those agencies count on the clinic to have funding to help their clients when they desperately need tires and brakes. The original idea for the Samaritan Car Care Clinic came from Reverend Simon of Madison Avenue Christian Church, and he's here today over there. That is just 1 block south here in Covington. 16 years ago, 2007, he comes to me and says, Bruce, you're mechanical, it's kind of a threat, you're mechanical, you got to help me solve a problem. We have these low-income single moms who are coming out to the church's community meals. Now, most don't have cars, but many do, and the ones who do come, they are trying to choose between rent and groceries. They don't even have money for an oil change. You're mechanical, figure this out, how can we work this? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of the Samaritan Car Care Clinic. So if you're going to have a bunch of volunteers who are offering to do oil changes for low-income single moms, gosh, golly, does it help to have a place to do it. And so we have had for 16 years an amazing in-kind gift from friend David Brownfield, who is somewhere here. Over there in the corner. David Brownfield. He is the owner of Walter Auto Body here in Covington, 10 plus blocks south. And so at least once, if sometimes not twice a quarter, we have had groups of volunteers do what we call our maintenance events there. If you're going to do lots of oil changes, and yes, we've done well more than 1,000 oil changes in the last 16 years, it really does help to have that oil donated. And we have had in another incredible in-kind gift, Valvoline has donated the oil for 16 years that we have used. So it's been fantastic. Every vehicle we saw desperately needed more an oil change, but folks, we didn't have any money. I'm skipping an awful lot of history, not because it's not important, but because I realize that my 4.5 minutes are almost up. Anyway, 2019, what this group needs to know is that Bill Butler and Marty Butler, these two gentlemen right here, so Bill Butler Corporex, Marty Butler Strauss Troy, and both obviously with the Butler Foundation, we got to meet, and they said, Bruce, we've got to figure out a way to expand, to scale up this all-volunteer thing you've got, because access to affordable and reliable transportation is so critical as far as helping families. So we developed a plan. We worked through the whole 501c3 application process with the IRS, standalone, nonprofit, and then COVID hits, rats. Plans got set aside, but not requests for help. Oh, good heavens, we were flooded, but we didn't have funding. So it's, you have to turn down 9 out of every 10 requests. That's frustrating. 2021, not wanting to give up on that dream, the Butler Foundation put down a challenge grant, said, Bruce, we got to figure this out. And so we got in front of the R.C. Doerr Foundation, I'm going to hear from Gene Mize in just a moment, got in front of the Hale Foundation, Bernie and Chris, and they're in the back, and they said, yes, this is something we've got to figure out. But their gifts had an interesting contingency. Bruce, you're going to have to become the full-time director. So after 34 years of a great career at PNC Bank, I did tender my resignation and became the director of the clinic. I do have some friends from PNC who are here. It was fantastic. I didn't leave because I wasn't happy. Believe me, it was the opportunity. How could you ever help this number of people? That kind of a thing. So, in fact, Warren Weber, Regional President, PNC, is here. Great to have Warren as well. So if you have this dream that, okay, well, I'm supposed to become the director of something that doesn't yet exist, okay, where the heck are you going to be? End of 2021, incredible gift. Corporex donated the land that we are upon, okay? The buildings have been gone. Yes, thank you, Corporex. The buildings have been gone for a couple decades, but now we have a place. If you're going to have a place, what the heck is the space going to look like? Another incredible gift. So Rob Humison is here somewhere. Bing, there he is. Rob Humison and his colleague also, ATA Bauhaus, architect firm downtown. I won't say countless hours, dozens and dozens of hours of volunteer time working on design, working on permitting, and those who came to the registration area, you can actually see the original architect rendering and how close this building actually looks to that original architect rendering. Okay, so we now have a plan, okay? Well, how in the heck are you going to build something? Again, wonderful connections. We were able to get in front of Gene Schroer of the Catalytic Fund. I've seen Gene here somewhere, up to the front and center. So I don't know if her board said, amazing project, but at least they said, this is unprecedented, which is correct. We are the one and the only. And so the Catalytic Fund of Northern Kentucky, which is a nonprofit lender, provided the construction loan for us to be able to build this building. So hint, hint, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a grant. That is a loan. So in addition to fundraising to be able to continue to repair cars, we need to fundraise to pay for the building. We're going to pay cars, okay, repair cars. So there are several here today that I want you to hear from. I'm going to come back up at the end before we have our kind of ribbon cutting ceremony. And I've already been reminded, folks, we do have refreshments. We have tea and lemonade and lots of tasty cookies, but don't get them now, only afterwards. So the very first person I want to call up is friend Marty Butler. So I've already mentioned about the Butler Foundation connection, but I'm very pleased to also share that Marty Butler is the board chair of the Samaritan Car Care Clinic. Marty.